Homicidal clothes cause I'm dressed to kill. Leave 6 bitches oohing cause I'm worth a mill. Flow is ill, spitting no vomit spill. Killing them softly but I ain't Lauren.
Living the dream, Sammy. It's been a while. I'm glad we're back, rolling with things. I know it's the schedule's been a little hectic, but I've been out on business. Sammy's been out on business, getting our stuff done. But we back to handle the real business. You know what I'm saying?
Eating 6 every single time. No, I'm
It's
glad to be here, guys. Thank you guys for having me on here.
absolutely our pleasure. We got to get.
I open Pokemon cards. I literally open up packs and I talk about it on YouTube. And I just made an Instagram, Arctic_JC, and it's something I used to do back 20 years ago. So I said, why not? Let me do it again. So everyone makes fun of me, but again, everyone also is hyped and doing it all over again. The pandemic brought me something good.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
On YouTube, Arctic JC. Yep. Yes, somebody had an Arctic JC. I was pissed. I was trying to make the account last night and someone took that. It's some random chick. I almost wanted to
Hey, pay up, brother. You want it? Gotta pay up.
flag that girl and say that's a fake account.
She stole my shit. Hers is about though.
You guys took it's been a quick hiatus for you guys, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? The pod finds a way. The pod finds a way. Yeah, I don't care if there's like one person watching it. It's usually just Arctic. But you know what? I love it. I love doing it. I love hanging out with my boy. And now,
Yeah, I feel like I'm only talking to myself every time. I start messaging people like, hey, hop in this chat. Don't leave me hanging.
well, at least we see you in there, and I knew Sammy and I both knew that we needed to bring our number one Heat fan on the podcast to at least talk shit to somebody and get our feelings out about the last game. But I'll let Sammy steer us in the right direction here. Take us home, Sammy. No, it didn't work. Yeah. No. I think we've heard already that Chris Paul was nursing an injury since Game 2, which is kind of where he fell off. But this is historic. This was a historic team, right? that went down in the second round of the playoffs. Embarrassingly, to say the least. This Dallas team is good. Luka was incredible, did everything for them. But I think the most important thing was the 2 games early on in the playoffs when the Mavericks lost Luka. That gave Dinwiddie and Brunson the confidence that they needed, that they can be the guys too. Dinwiddie showed up in Game 7. Brunson was there in Game 7, and it was just a blowout from the tip, really. There was never a competitive second in this game. Looking forward, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but looking forward to the offseason in Phoenix, what are they going to do with DeAndre Jordan here? I mean, that's definitely something that's going to be big coming up, so something to follow there. Chris Paul is going to be another year older. This may have been his chat. And I think Sammy said you don't have audio, Sammy. I don't know if you know this.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear him now?
Sammy, you there?
I think Sammy said you don't have audio, Sammy. I don't know if you know this.
Can you hear me now? There we go. All right, we're back. I was on mute. All right, cool. Keep going, Vic. Keep cooking. So we were diving into the Western Conference.
You mute the entire show has been muted since.
No, you guys were good. It was me.
All right. So, first game back from the hiatus, guys. Come on, we gotta get the kinks out. We're doing okay. Don't worry about Sam. He's got this shit.
I'm gonna keep drinking. I don't even drink on my own show.
Oh, we definitely drink on this show, brother. But no, Sammy, it's time for me to give you kudos. So you're always giving me kudos, but all season long you're hyping up the Mavs. Even going back last season, hyping up the Mavs. Did you even see this from them?
To be honest, I really didn't. I remember I texted you right after the trade because I remember you shut me down when I mentioned the trade. You shut me down. You were like, oh, big whoop. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's not a huge trade. Like, it wasn't like a blockbuster trade, but in my eyes, I saw it as a good fitting trade, right? The guys that they acquired in that trade were a good fit for what Luka's skill set is. And I think from there, and I think you mentioned it, you called me out on it because I didn't talk about it on one of our episodes, and you said, dude, can we talk about your Mavs? Their net rating has improved since the trade. And I was like, yeah.
Second best in the NBA. It's only second to the Celtics.
Yeah. So, I mean, you like you mentioned, Dinwiddie. I think, I don't know if Tim Hardaway came back yet. I think he played yesterday, though, right?
Can I just point out that Luka Doncic and Spencer Dinwiddie scored 65 points between them two in Game 7.
Yeah.
Well, Luka at halftime was tied with the whole Phoenix team, 27 points each.
Yeah, he had 27 in the entire first and second.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's incredible. I have nothing else to say. I mean, I'm spent on this. I mean, it was a sad whimper from what the previous game had been, right? So for those of you who don't know, I was on the road for Game 7, literally in the back of a rental car, watching the first half on my phone, and then ended up watching the second half alone in a hotel bar, drinking by myself with no sound. And it was the greatest Celtics game I've ever seen in my life. All right. I'm over there screaming, going crazy, and people are just looking at me like I'm a psycho. And it's like 5:00 on a Sunday. I'm half in the bag, yelling at the guy, made friends with the bartender. I don't know. It was a great time. But I love that. I had a great time. Go Steez. Let's get back to the Western Conference stuff.
So let's talk about it because I have a question on this one. What was Phoenix's downfall?
Perfect segue. You want? I think we need to bring JC on to do our hosting duties. That's a perfect segue. What went wrong with Phoenix, and what do they do now? Because that's a 66-win team. I mean, there's not much else you can really do there, right?
Number one in the West.
Number one in the entire NBA.
In the NBA, they had home court, and that's another big factor here, right? They had home court throughout the playoffs. Now I believe whoever wins this series in the East will have home court through in the finals, correct? Yeah. I believe both teams had a higher win percentage than the both seeds in the West. So that's huge for the East. Just to tie that back into the East. Now, as far as where Phoenix goes from here, they really need to figure out what they're going to do with DeAndre Ayton. Are you going to extend him? Are you going to sign and trade? we don't really have an inkling as what to do there. Ayton, although did not perform in this year's playoffs, he was a big part of last year's run. And if we really want to boggle it down to the numbers, and let's see where Ayton was at here. If we really want to boggle it down to the numbers, I mean, Booker has always been number one. Paul has been number two on that team, but they really don't have that third scorer if Ayton's not going off. Crowder is somebody for me that I think is going to be on another team next year.
Heat legend Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder. I was going to say Celtics legend had Jay Crowder.
I think Sammy was the one that corrected me with that one.
I think everybody, I don't know, I feel like everybody's had a Crowder moment.
Yeah.
Both ways. He's also a Cleveland legend for ruining Gordon Hayward's career the Celtics' chances. But he pushed Gordon Hayward in the back, if you guys don't know that. But, yeah, so, I mean, those are the two biggest things. What are they going to do with Ayton? And what are they going to do with the auxiliary guys, the Cam Johnsons, the
Mikal Bridges,
the Miles Bridges is I think he's still on for next year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so they still have Bridges back, but what are they going to do with Crowder, those guys, those ancillary guys? I believe Ayton's not eligible for the Supermax, is he? I don't believe he is.
Trying to see.
No, because it's never mind.
No.
It's just his rookie extension,
Yeah,
so
I don't think so.
So, Vic, you said it. We got an old.
Yeah,
Chris
no,
Paul.
no, you don't. No,
it's like,
no,
what can
no.
he do?
37 years old, and he averaged 17 and a half points throughout these playoffs. Ayton was finished second on the team with 17.9. Sorry, that's what I was looking for while I was just rambling. I was trying to buy myself time while I found these stats. But if you look at his Ayton's field goal percentage in the playoffs, 64%. But in these last few games, he hasn't been nearly as impactful as he was in the previous.
Down about 3 points per game. Ayton was
field goal percentage
down.
7%.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Mikal Bridges on the other side, too. He was down about 5 points per game. I think his field goal percentage was down about a few percent as well. So Bridges wasn't, and his 3-point percentage was 28. Let me see what his regular season 3-point percentage was. Had to be higher than that.
Let me ask you this. If I were to tell you that Landry Shamet is 25 years old,
Mikal Bridges went from 37 to 23% in the playoffs. That's tough. If you told me who? Sorry.
How old do you think Landry Shamet is?
32.
It's 25.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, they have pieces here, but the thing, like you guys are saying, is how are they going to replace Chris Paul if he can't come back? Now, he's already signed. He's signed for, I believe, 3 more years. But, I mean, is he really going to come back and be, I don't know. I feel like he's at the Tom Brady status where you kind of just shut up until the wheels actually fall off. But are we witnessing that here?
Yeah.
He was a minus 26 these last 2 games.
Yeah. Brutal.
Mm-hmm.
JC, I know you're more of a casual fan when it comes to the West, but what I know you keep your eyes on stuff. What was your immediate reaction when you saw that Dallas came back and won that series?
The dismantle of the Phoenix Suns, pissed that the coach won Coach of the Year for this. Now it makes me wonder, was it the coach's fault?
No.
Or was it the players? Was it the Chris Paul curse? That's all I had in mind.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Dallas to get out of here. I liked Luka Doncic, but I didn't expect them to get out of here. I thought the Phoenix Suns was. No. I called it months ago in your guys' streams when I said I see Phoenix in Miami.
I think a
lot of people did
that, except for Miami.
I think Vic called Phoenix a while ago too.
Yeah, no, I was all
Victim Messiah.
I've been saying it since day one. Now I feel like an idiot. Do you guys think the window is closed? Do you think this is their chance?
No. No, as in are they done? No.
Yeah, are they done?
No, I don't think so.
Is Booker just not that guy though? Is he a scorer? That's it. Is he like Carmelo? Just a score.
Is he Carmelo and not Kobe? I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, Booker did it for years with nobody, and now they're actually making the playoffs.
Yeah, but they were a terrible team. It was a bad roster construction around them. But all right.
If they lose Ayton, I think they're in trouble. But there was also another series, right, in the West?
There was. And this one I think was really interesting. I'm going to give my kudos to myself on this. Golden State making it to the conference finals. That was my pick. Also, my pick was for them to make it to the finals. So we'll see what happens going forward. But
that's an asterisk. You got an asterisk there.
What?
John Moran went down.
Yeah.
John Moran went down. That was it right there.
That's fine. And that was going to be my question, right? That was going to be my question. Would we, we like to look at these things from kind of a vacuum and be like, would the series be different had John Morant not gone down?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Would it have led to a different outcome? Do you think it definitely would have been a different outcome? Or would it just have gone to 7? Because it was over 4-2, so it was a 6-game series. So.
Yeah. They lost Dylan Brooks for a game. They lost John Morant for like 4 games. I mean, this is a team that they lost their star player that was scoring 27 points a game in the playoffs, 9 points more than any other person on the team, right?
38 in that series, right? Yeah, 38 points in that series.
And can we talk a little bit about Jaren Jackson and what he means to that team moving forward? That guy is the most inconsistent player I've seen since Jaylen Brown last year. I mean, this is just, up and down.
You can look at the other side of the coin. Desmond Bane kind of, in this series, really kind of fell off.
He had 25 points in the last game.
Yeah, but then again, overall, if you look at his overall stats, he underachieved compared to where he was in the regular season.
I guess. He was getting more minutes, so and he was. They were able to isolate on him, right? Because they didn't have to worry about
John Morant, right?
So he didn't get the same looks, but he was still shooting 58% from 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's incredible.
in these last 4 games,
or
last 3 games. I'm sorry, of the series. Dylan Brooks even was. I thought he was the real issue, going cold from the field, and I really think the suspension, messed with him a little bit, right?
Right.
That threw they were on a roll.
That was stupid though. That was so
Game
stupid.
Game 5, they blew out Golden State, 95-134. Like, they were probably all excited because of that. There was no way I didn't think they were going to win in Golden State.
That was tough, but the thing is, you have to think that if they with a healthy John Morant, that's a 7-game series, and I think Memphis wins because of home court.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to give Taylor Jenkins his due, right? Like what a great coaching job this year. But I don't know. When Dylan Brooks went out, I feel like that was the nail in the coffin, because ever since he went out for that game, again, 35% from the field, 35% from 3. He was a plus minus 7.3, and that includes that blowout game. So, it is what it is. I feel bad for Memphis, but on the flip side of the whole Phoenix thing there, I think they'll be back.
They will. 100%.
That's a young Memphis team.
And you take into consideration, that Game 5 without John Morant and how they showed up and played as a team. Like, you already know, this team, roster construction wise, you take a superstar out, they're still a team that has the ability to win games, but without John Morant, to your point, Vic, it's probably that they can't win a series without that extra bit of talent. So I'm with you there. I agree with you there. I'll take my asterisk because I still pick Golden State.
You might as well say the same thing about Minnesota as well, because that round was great.
Yeah.
And that's another young team.
And Anthony Edwards, man, give that guy the MVP right now.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna win it in 3 years. He's amazing.
He's so good. I love him.
He has.
But then again, I'm casual.
Nah, you're good.
I know, right? Damn, man.
I didn't mean it like that. My bad.
I'm casual in the West, JC. But can you tell us what you thought about Phoenix?
Absolutely nothing. I'm still salty about the Coach of the Year, but we'll talk about that later.
We will.
It wasn't Spo. Spo wasn't gonna win it anyway. He's gotten it. He's like Giannis. He's gotten it too many times.
So this one is a little bit shorter because we know kind of the unfortunate events that happened for Memphis. Obviously, we know Golden State has that playoff ilk as well. So they did get a little lucky. Still was going to be a great series with John Morant there. Would have probably went to Game 7. Who knows how you could flip a coin, right? Like on that final game. Probably have Memphis a little bit higher because they have the home court. But nothing really that Memphis has to do. Just got to stay healthy. They'll be back next year. solid young team. They have this playoffs under their belt. We'll see hopefully another jump from Ja Morant, another jump from Desmond Bane. Jaren Jackson has to prove a little bit more consistency. I agree with you there. I thought he stepped up a little bit in the playoff, or a little bit not in this series in particular. But yeah, still just super inconsistent because I think he was like a no-show in the divisional round, right? Like.
Yeah, and he's constantly in foul trouble. That's his biggest issue.
Yeah, but yeah, it's two teams that nothing really to worry about there. But all right.
Before you guys transition into the East, can we talk about average Kurt? He's talking about the Lakers right now. We need some LeBron hate. Apparently he's leaving. There's some rumors.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere. I also haven't looked at that much news because I'm so stuck in the playoffs.
Yeah, we care about teams that are.
He did make a point though. Chris Paul, I think, is cursed, and don't hug his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny as hell. I don't know if everybody saw that on Twitter, but essentially, like a young fan got kicked out for trying to hug Chris Paul's mom.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I was Chris Paul and I was in that situation, I didn't know what that dude was doing to my mom, I'd be like, stay the fuck away from my mom.
Yeah, I would too. I probably would too.
Yeah, so I can't blame Chris Paul there. And the kid, honestly, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like what? Like I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to be funny. I'm gonna go hug Chris Paul's mom, but fuck you. Just sit in your chair and shut the hell up.
Yeah, so stupid.
Loser.
All right, so Eastern Divisional round. Miami beat Philly 4-2. I don't think it was even that close, in my opinion. JC, do you have any thoughts on how your Heat performed in that Philadelphia series? I mean,
I think if Joel Embiid was there the entire series, it would have been completely different.
No,
I think so. That's a big man.
No,
those two games in Philly was tough against him.
No, not a chance.
I
hate the Heat.
Here's the thing. Game 3 was the only question mark. Spoelstra brings Kyle Lowry back, who's not even 100%, and they brought Doc Rivers brought Joel Embiid.
Mask Joel.
Both teams had no idea that they were coming back. That game was all over the place.
I don't think any of us did. I didn't even know Joel Embiid was coming back in that game.
I don't know who I told this to. It probably was you, Sammy, but I think Kyle Lowry should just sit out the rest of the playoffs. I don't think he's 100%. I think he should just do that UD role and just scream at players and just sit in the back.
They're doing fine without him so far.
Tony Brothers is in their back pocket, so.
But yeah, just a tremendous collapse from James Harden, in my opinion. James Harden was supposed to be that guy in Philadelphia. If you're a Philadelphia fan, you got to be really, really disappointed with the effort that you saw from James Harden in most of those games. Granted, I know you're in a situation where you're teaming up with Joel Embiid. Your number one option or number 1A, 1B option goes down, but you have to do more. You have to do more, and I just didn't see it from from James Harden. It was really disappointing. I mean, not that I was rooting for them, but I hate to say I told him so. Like I thought that was a stupid trade. I mean, I was like, but
it was a good trade because they weren't going to get anything from Simmons.
Right.
But
Steph Curry was great against us in Brooklyn. Just throwing it out there.
Seth Curry was a sieve on defense, dude.
Yeah. So is James Harden.
Let's look at the points, but everybody wants to look at, Grayson Allen had a great game, a great series against the Celtics. He got destroyed on defense.
Oh.
Tatum was foaming at the mouth every time he saw one of those.
Those last two games, like Budenholzer couldn't keep Grayson Allen in the game. Like he had to sub him out consistently.
No,
he knew it.
No, and it's the same. It's that same thing with Harden and Curry. If Harden's not producing on the offensive level, at what point does it become a detriment to have him out there defensively? Because he is horrible defensively.
Jimmy Butler looked back at certain moments and he was like, I can't believe they just let me score.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, what the fuck? He literally mouthed off to somebody and said that.
No,
Harden was just standing there.
I will agree with Kurt. I think that Harden is soft, but I think that the biggest problem this playoffs was Joel Embiid. If you look at somebody that is so crucial to a team's success, and you look at his plus minus was only 2.8. And you take that and you flip that and you look at that Jimmy Butler's plus minus, for example. He's at a 13. Giannis 6.6. Losing in a series, by the way. Giannis was still at 6.6 plus minus.
I think Jimmy Butler at one point in this playoffs was like a plus 21.
Yeah, I mean, it's really ridiculous. And I don't like to usually use plus minus to go on what the success is of a player. But when it's that stark of a difference between Joel Embiid and somebody like Jimmy Butler, I know you love Jimmy Butler, JC, but he is not the caliber of player that Joel Embiid is, in my opinion. And throughout an 82-game season, I mean, what he means to the team. So
he's dropping more points in the playoffs than he will all season.
Oh, absolutely,
100%.
absolutely. And you know what? I think
this is like the fifth 40-point game that he's dropped in the playoffs.
That could be the difference between Jimmy Butler and Joel.
He's on a mission. I mean, he's on a mission. He knows.
They're two people, and I think honestly, and just fast forwarding into the Eastern Conference Finals right now, I feel like there's two players here who know that this is their last shot. One of them is Jimmy Butler, and the other one is Al Horford. Both of them know that this is their last and best chance to win a championship. Because I know you guys love the Heat, but there's better teams coming up. Giannis is amazing. The fact that he's out of these playoffs that quickly is something else.
We could talk about that. We could talk about the
perfect segue. Talk about that
not having
Celtics
Chris Middleton
series.
I mean, we could talk about that. Not having Chris Middleton. Right
Exactly. And I love the Celtics. I'm a diehard Celtics fan. I'm the biggest homer on YouTube. Trust me. I would be scared if Chris Middleton was playing in that series.
100%.
I don't know if the Celtics win that series.
Hands down, we don't. We probably still go to 7, but we don't win.
So, I know, Sammy. I don't even know if it goes to 7 because remember, there's a game without Smart there, right? There were games without players where we won. There's a game without games without Rob. Well, the whole series without Rob.
I mean, but you're looking at a situation where in that game 6 we won by 23. Like, yeah, you can say Chris Middleton could be that difference there. I mean, most of those games were close. I mean, that second game we won by 23 as well.
Game 6 is where it made a difference.
No, I 100% agree with you, but at the same time, like, we're talking about one guy, and we think that one guy can completely change a series. When, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying I think the outcome would be different. I don't think what leads to that outcome would have been different. I still think there would have been things that we did in between that we would have had to fight harder than we probably actually did. Like, I think when you saw what we switched up after Game 5, it was a completely different thing. Granted, we probably would have had to switch more because we ran away with those final 2 games. I did not, like, I still felt nervous because they still went on runs, but it was more like because they were shorthanded, we kind of beat ourselves in a lot of ways. I mean, you already know this. I mean, that third quarter where they fucking blew us out, which we'll talk about our other third quarter from the other day. But I see your point, but I'm just saying I think the outcome would have been different. I don't think they would have won in 6. I think it still would have been a 7-game series because we've seen that before. We've seen them with Chris Middleton before, and I think we would have adjusted.
You guys have a healthy Boston team.
Not right now.
Minus Marcus Smart right now.
Well, Derek White's gone.
That game 7 though against the Bucks, Grant Williams scored 6 threes in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I keep telling this to people that shouldn't be. Somebody came up to me at work and talked about that. Who's this guy? And I'm like, you must not watch the NBA. That's the guy that was top 5 in 3-point percentage the entire season. So, I mean, that's what he is. He truly became a 3-and-D guy. Something Vic and I had talked about for the last 2 years. When is he going to become the 3-and-D guy that we need? And he finally did. He worked on his shot, got better this year. He fucking exploded. But he finally became the true 3-and-D guy.
No, Sam, I think I texted you. I said, hey, I don't know what Grant Williams is doing because he shot like 3 threes in a row and he missed all of them, and then he shot 6 in a row and he was like,
I was happy with shooting. I hate when he
like,
puts
what?
the ball on the ground. I hate when he puts the ball on the ground. Just shoot. Just shoot the ball. Don't dribble.
Damn.
So if you're wondering, yeah, I think Milwaukee will be back. I think.
Oh, that's
with
100%.
With Giannis there.
Damn, LB is hating
they're
on
not
me.
going anywhere.
Why, man? I'm just comfy right now, bro. Am I too white? Should I turn my camera or my light down?
Put it on
There
the
you go.
tan filter.
Can you please put a shirt on? Put a shirt on under your jersey. That's funny.
Damn.
There's my.
Everybody's hating.
I mean,
All right. Anyway.
All right, so
moving on.
I guess we might as well just talk about what's happening right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect segue. Miami Heat, Boston
we might as well
Celtics.
talk about Miami Boston.
Game 1. Complete and utter collapse by the Celtics, but also a lot of credit to Miami Heat and their blitzing defense in that third quarter. Unreal. JC, you go first. You're
We
our
lost
guest.
it. I mean, we in the first we were like, I saw the score 14-6. I wasn't even home yet. I was like, oh no, I'm not even gonna text Sammy. I'm gonna let this game ride out.
I'm surprised I didn't get as many texts as I thought I was going to get.
No, because I knew you probably would have ignored me anyways.
I would have
don't wanna
ignored
bother you.
everybody.
Yeah, it's just I saw Grant Williams on the sideline just like yelling at everybody, like, you guys gotta keep going. Pritchard, Brown. I mean, yeah, you guys not having Horford probably was a big deal. I don't know. It was tough.
huge.
This was a tough game. I mean, Butler scoring 40, Gabe Vincent coming out of nowhere, Max Struss all playoffs making these random threes.
I wasn't
Hero,
too mad about
six
that.
man.
I was looking at his percentage. I mean, his percentage was about where it was supposed to be. He missed his first like 4 shots. Ended up, I think, ending with like a 40% 3-point shot by the end of the game. And I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. But I mean, Vic, what did you take away from that first game?
I'm gonna be completely honest here, guys. So as you guys know, I was on a work trip in New York. I went back to the hotel to watch the game after a work dinner, and I randomly found 5 guys from Massachusetts sitting on a bench, or not a bench, on a couch in the bar, watching the Celtics game. I sat down with them, became friends, and ended up getting very intoxicated when the Celtics were up by like 14 and a half. I didn't really see much of the collapse, but I know I should say I don't really remember much of the collapse. I remember it happening and me being very sad and yelling at the TV, "What is happening? What is happening? What is happening?" A lot of it was open threes once again. Open threes once again. Tyler Hero was a surprise that game, right? Because he hasn't done shit all playoffs. But of course, when they play the Celtics, he goes off and has probably the best game he's had in the playoffs. Max Strus goes unconscious, even though he played for the Celtics and was dumped. Honestly, the fact that we only lost this game by 11 was surprising. I thought we were going to make a run at the end. But
I honestly thought we were going to lose by 20.
no Horford really hurt us. Tatum was terrible that game.
No Smart.
Even though he scored 29 games, he was on fire in the first half, but -8 in the second half. Grant Williams, 2 for 5, not aggressive enough, only shot 2 threes.
7 points by Grant Williams after the game before.
Well, yeah, and then Derek White, 3 points. I mean, those are our starters. We got 10 points from 2 combined starters. That's not good enough to win. Pritchard put it all on the line there. There's certain times with Derek White when you feel like he's got it and you feel like he doesn't have it. If he doesn't have it on the game, you can read it all over his body language. Maybe he was distracted by the fact that his wife was about to give birth, which I had no idea about. But congratulations to him. And just real quick here, for anybody shaming him for going to watch his first child be born, like, fuck you, all right. But Jaylen Brown still, even though JB was still 7 for 17, he was still 50% from 3. And also 6 from 10 to the line. He got to the line 10 times. Now, JB has been so bad from the line this playoffs. It has driven me nuts. He needs to get that shit under control. The biggest concern for me was how many times Jimmy Butler went to the line. 17 for 18 from the line. That's 18 free points that we're giving him. And let's say that he averages his average, which I think is like 8 free throws a game, something like that.
He kept drawing fouls. I don't know how he did it. He just kept drawing fouls.
I'll tell you how he did. His name's Tony Brothers. He fucking plays for the other
No,
team.
not even just that. We bit on everything. There was two in particular that probably shouldn't have been called. One on Pritchard, and I think another on Grant Williams, where they had their hand down and he just bumped them. Those were two that I think were definitely Tony Brothers. But I think all the rest were us. That was all us. Every single one of the Celtics were biting on every single pump fake, and you know exactly what Jimmy Butler is going to do.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and what gives me pause, what scares me moving forward, Sammy, is that we haven't. Even though Tyler Hero had one of his better games of the postseason, he still was only 1 for 5 from 3, and we both know how hot he can get from 3. I know we thought that Max Strus went off. He was only 3 for 8 from 3.
Right.
This is a team that can shoot the lights out. Bam only had 10 points this game. Are we going to get another 10-point Bam game? I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I highly doubt it. That's what scares me.
JC, your thoughts going forward with the Miami Heat? Are you nervous for tonight?
I'm nervous. I'm going to be nervous the entire series. I mean, I keep telling everybody, I think this is a very good Boston team. I think the minute we go back to Boston and fight you guys there is going to be completely different. But then again, this team Miami Heat has so much depth. Like, you throw on Oladipo there, he only plays 15 minutes. And he's all over the place.
But it's a huge
running
15.
Wild.
Yeah.
Huge 15 minutes of him running around. I mean, Tyler Hero, not really doing much, still scores 18. Dwayne Dedmon, trying to do a lot.
Plus 16.
I mean, this is a crazy team. I mean, Bam didn't have that great of a game. Yeah, he only had 10 points.
I mean, you look at that plus minus. That was all that third quarter, in my opinion. It was all entirely weighted on that third quarter.
Absolutely.
I think UD went in the back. He yelled at everybody at the halftime. Just yelled at everybody. He's like, "Yo," he's like, "I'm gonna beat your ass," the way he did to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
And he came out, and they all just did something different. I don't know what it was. But that's a completely different second half.
Yeah.
The only quarter the Celtics were outscored in that game was the third quarter, where they were outscored 39-14. An embarrassing loss for the Celtics, and I'm honestly just disappointed. It's a game that we should have won, but the old adage in 7-game series is, it's not a series until a game is won on the road. So until one of these teams wins on the road, we don't really have a series.
True. Yeah, I think something to note too. I did like the adjustments that the Celtics showed this season so far versus in 2020, particularly against the zone, especially more so in the fourth quarter, because I saw Spoelstra in that first half was kind of didn't blitz a lot, and I think it was more he was reading how the refs were going to call the game, because I think he saw that Milwaukee series and was kind of like, how are they going to call this series in particular? And then we noticed very early on that the refs were, I don't know how to, I thought they let them play for a pretty good amount of it at least in that first half. And the second half, for the most part, besides Jimmy Butler, but I think that was us and the Celtics and their lack of discipline on that. I think they were getting desperate, right? But that's when he decided to shift and say, you know what? Let's make them dribble the ball, which you and I know, Vic, firsthand. That is probably one of our weakest points on our team is ball handling, for the most part. Like, that's been a huge issue for us, especially in the playoffs.
100%.
We're a great team that moves the ball well, but when we put the ball on the floor, it always gets stolen. Miami Heat blitzed every single person that dribbled the ball. They blitzed it. They undercut passes. I think in particular, usually I don't love the commentators and some of the things they say, but I really do agree with what Stan Van Gundy said about Jason Tatum has to be a little quicker on his decision making. Yes, and I think that's something you've always said as well. If he wants to make that next step, which I think he showed a lot in Milwaukee. Milwaukee gave us a lot more room because I think we were longer than they were. But against Miami in particular, when he's making a move, he has to decide what he's going to do right away and make that decision before Miami, blitzes. But anyway, that's that's my take on it.
So before we wrap this up, what's everybody's prediction of the series, both Western Conference and Eastern Conference? JC, you're our guest. You're here. We'll start with you.
You might as well just give it to Golden State. I think that's gonna be a sweep.
Wow.
I just don't think Dallas can. I mean, Dallas did lose the first 2 games against Phoenix. They could turn it around, but I just think this is a very good Golden State team. Klay Thompson being back is a big difference. Steph Curry is a machine as well. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins. You know, it's a good team.
Squad. Yeah, it's a good squad.
It's a deep team for sure.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was a sweep.
I got Warriors in 5. I think Dallas wins 1.
Yeah. Dubs in 7. I'm gonna go 7. I'm gonna give the Mavericks a little bit more credit here. I think there's gonna be a night where Klay goes cold, where Draymond does something stupid, and at least they're gonna win 2 of those games. I want to say I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt and say they're gonna get at least 3 and win their home court, and then lose to the Dubs on the road.
I mean, that makes sense. Luka can do what Giannis did, right? Like, he can carry his team. So
100%. Eastern Conference, where we going, guys?
7.
7 games Heat win, I'm assuming.
I think it depends. I think it depends on what happens in Boston.
Yeah.
Tonight and what happens in Boston. I think that'll be it. We really don't know. I mean, this is an all-around depth squad. Like, this Heat team is very deep.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, you guys also I think you guys just had a bad game.
1 bad quarter.
And then I also want to give a shout out to the Warrior PJ Tucker. I think that is a big difference that most people just don't understand.
He'll get exposed.
That man,
I know it's coming. He's going to get exposed.
He will.
He's going to get exposed. I think he's your actual weak link, but I think he's going to get exposed. I'm going based on this. I think the Celtics are better now than they were in 2020. I think they respond better, as we've seen against Milwaukee. I'm worried about Spoelstra. I always will always worry about Spoelstra. I still think we have the higher talent. They might be a little bit deeper than us. But I think this is going 7. I think because in 2020 went 6. This is going 7. Celtics in 7.
My turn?
Yeah.
Celtics in 5.
Oh, hot take.
Ooh. I need to go drink.
So no more wins. No more wins for Miami.
4 in a row.
Why not us? Why not us? Just this once.
4 in a row.
So bad.
Victor Messiah. Victor Messiah with this comment.
What a great freaking end.
Oof.
But all right, everybody.
Oof.
Thank you all for tuning in before the Eastern Conference Finals. JC, real quick, plug yourself. Where can everybody find you on all your socials? All your
You
places.
can find me on YouTube, Arctic JC. You can find me on Instagram, Arctic_JC. I open up Pokemon cards. If you guys are interested, check the channel out. Also, thank you fellas for having me on this channel. I appreciate it.
You will come on again. We'll have you on again.
Heat and 6.
But all right, everybody, make sure like and subscribe to the video. Show all your friends. We're going to talk more NBA soon. We're going to have JC on after the Celtics end up beating the Heat. Go Celtics, and enjoy, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We are Townie Sports.
Thanks, JC. Take care, guys.
Later.
Thanks, fellas.
Hey, swag so mean, swagger on 100. We keep it real, dog. Nah, we ain't never fronted. You know my whole cap G-Clan stay blunted. My toes stay bruised, cause I'm running to the money. Swag so mean,